Right.
All right, so today we're here with my friend Max Reeder. Max is probably the best healer that I've personally ever met in my life. He would probably say otherwise, like he really, we both, have idolized Alexander Krakolinic, who's been on this channel many times. And he would probably say that he's the best healer he's ever met, and I'm sure he is. But from my personal direct experience, Max has by far been the best healer he's ever met. I've ever met, and I have no clue how he does what he does. But what's really incredible about Max is he really has this incredible ability to be able to detect um, people's. Is it a blockage? Is that the right way to say it? Do you feel people's blockages?
Their blockages, their energy patterns, the flow of energy through their bodies, and
Okay.
where there's numb spots. Pretty blockages is the easy word for it. Yeah.
Blockage. Okay. Yeah. So he's able to see, feel people's blockages and stuff like that. Max and I were part of a really prestigious, well-known energy school back in the day, and that's where we met. And we kind of, at the time, we were both like just two up and coming practitioners, just kind of, you know, just hoping to like make it big one day and stuff like that. We both kind of came a long ways. We both obviously took on like different, skill sets. Obviously, he kind of like went more towards like the heal, pursuing healing for others and himself and stuff like that. I definitely hone more of a, telekinesis, moving objects. I kind of, pursue more of that and stuff like that. I mean, obviously Max can, hold his own when it comes to that stuff as well. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just, a lot has happened, since we met. I mean, a lot of ups and downs in the community and stuff like that.
Yeah. You
Um,
said it, man.
yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. Just I can't go into detail, but we've gone through a lot, a lot of personal problems as well. But we persevered, and like now, a lot of things are going well for both of us right now. I mean, life isn't perfect, but um, you know, over the last few months or so, Max has really, really took a tremendous leap in his business. He now has over 100,000 followers on TikTok, and I'm just blown away that he was able to do that. And I'm just so happy that he was able to do that because it's just like finally someone in this PK community has reached that milestone of just reaching that 100K social media status, and like, you know what I mean. I'm just really happy that it happens to be one of my close friends, and it's just so awesome to see that, because I really think that Max is just on his way to just really truly being a powerful teacher and guru and stuff like that, that's going to teach, energy work and telekinesis and neurokinesis and stuff like that. I'm just so excited for what's going on with Max right now. So that was probably the longest intro I've ever done because of that, but I can talk about Max because I know him so well. But okay, Max, so could you briefly explain to the audience how you got started in your spiritual journey, and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah. Thanks for that intro, brother. Yeah. Well, the short version of the story is I always envisioned myself being like I wanted to be the modern Tesla with electrical engineering. And I was in college for electrical engineering and kept finding instances of suppressed technology and just basically all of the things that I would have most wanted to explore. Conventional physics doesn't acknowledge, similar to the way in which conventional medicine, Western medicine, doesn't acknowledge the human energy system. I kept finding scientific like laws of thermodynamics being violated, or an electrogravitic relationship being established back in the 50s. There's even been cold fusion patents that have been classified by the patent office, and lots of other technologies that are being kept from the masses because the controllers, whoever the powers that want to be, that basically control the world, just keep a lot of things hidden, unless you're hungry for information, unless you're hungry to dig into it and research for yourself to see what's out there. And it's very clear when you do your own research to start seeing, I mean, some of these things were public experiments that were demonstrated, and then they started being classified. So I kind of shifted from, I've always been very interested in science. I've always been very interested in trying to deduce the meaning of the universe. What is that common denominator? And the common denominator that I kept finding when I was in school was the science of consciousness is something that is completely unexplained by our conventional physics model. We don't understand what it is, and yet consciousness is the one variable that's present in every single experiment that's ever been conducted, and yet we don't know what it is. We do know that it can affect things, it can affect reality on a quantum level, it can affect outcomes of experiments, but we don't know what consciousness is. We don't know why this experience of being alive as a human feels like a firsthand experience and not just this automatic carrying out of responses to stimuli in our environment. It actually feels like a first person experience. And it's so, to me, the most cutting edge field of science is the science of consciousness. And that's what's most appealing to me as someone that's naturally interested in science for most of my life. It's somewhere that technology hasn't been able to keep up with. So it's unconventional. And to people that have a very left brain mind, it's quackery, because the technology can't keep up with it. And it's not very lucrative is another thing. Like you can't patent energy healing. You can't sell energy healing in a bottle. And energy healing also addresses the root cause of symptoms. And it's called the miracle cure for all diseases for a reason, because all diseases originate in an energetic origin. Things exist as an information field, an invisible, intelligent energy that held long enough manifests as physical reality. And there are miraculous healings that are able to take place as a result of changing the energetic configuration of someone or making changes to transmute the pattern of their energy system. And in medical terminology, these are called miraculous healings, or sorry, it's not even medical terminology. They can't really be acknowledged because it's not in the vein of what we understand with Western medicine. So that's how I got into all of this. Also, I found out about Project Stargate, where the CIA trained its agents to learn remote viewing to spy on Soviet military operations. And they were able to do so from the perspective of the people that were actually involved in the program. They were able to do so with reliable results, whether or not their results were taken seriously by the CIA. And once I learned about the remote viewing thing, then I realized anybody can develop psychic abilities. Anybody can open up to this. So around that time is when we found the school that we met in. But yeah, I saw some aerokinesis demos on YouTube of people changing the wind and creating a storm of gusts from a dead standstill. And I was really interested by it and started learning it.
Nice. Yeah, that's around a time. Yeah, we met for sure. So pretty much, you mentioned remote viewing and stuff like that. Like I said in the intro, I've always been just so fascinated by your ability to basically detect, because most people know that I do mostly PK and stuff like that, and like when I do PK, I just simply just blast energy out of my hands. Like back in the day, I used to try to feel the aura and all that kind of stuff. Now I keep it really simple, but so you mentioned stuff like remote viewing and stuff like that. So like, can you like essentially, like, do you kind of see remote viewing and like what you're doing with like energy healing stuff like that? Do you kind of see the similarity in the two fields? Like, do you essentially
they're connected in that everything exists in overlap.
Mm-hmm.
And so all data that exists in the universe, as long as we tune the radio dial that is our consciousness to that specific target, and we're able to tune our perception to that data. So they're similar in that sense. Usually when people talk about remote viewing, they're talking about lowering the brain state to the theta state, so that you're basically in the waking dream state. And if you do so with a target in mind, it's called coordinate remote viewing. and you're actually tuning into a physical space and bilocating your consciousness basically and being able to perceive that area while awake. It's really like a waking dream state. You're in a theta state usually when that happens. So they're similar in that everything exists in overlap, and if you tune your consciousness to something and you slow down the brain state enough, then you can perceive that.
Right. Why do you think that particular skill you were so good at, like above all else? What did you like gravitate towards
I
that
wouldn't
particular
say
thing?
that remote viewing is my strength. I would say if I had to
I didn't
categorize,
mean remote viewing. I meant to say the healing. Like what? Like because when we first met, you did a healing on me. Like what? Like did you gravitate towards healing or like how, like because back when we first met, like you and I both weren't really that high level of practitioners. You know what I mean? Like I certainly wasn't for sure, but you still were like a solid healer even back then. Like what? Like how did you get to that point? Like how did you
well, I was
like?
just
Is
I
it
was
was
just
it
trying
did
to
it came natural to you or?
initially I was just trying to get my mastery certification for the school we were in so that I could be an instructor.
Okay.
And then part of the mastery certification was you have to give at least 3 energy healing
Okay,
sessions
that's right.
with
Yeah,
positive
that's right.
testimonials. So that's how that started. And I had already been doing, a lot of the students were doing like Skype calls with each other. Um, and we would have, video calls and basically do group meditations. And then also weekly webinars where we would train our sensitivity and connecting to one another and be able to, play that data back to ourselves and kind of read into what that meant.
Right.
Like being able to feel certain things in someone's body, and then someone like you feel a heaviness in the chest, and somebody just got, they just got a heartbreak, they got over a relationship or something. And so being able to correlate, oh, when I feel this, that is a real thing that I'm picking up on from someone else. So and then obviously meeting Alexander,
Right.
totally just um, accelerated everything because he completely turned my world on its head, learning empty force. So it was really, I think that is actually, that's the reason that I think that I've kind of had accelerated development compared to a lot of people that pick up on this. And I'm not trying to say this in like a way to toot my own horn. I was fortunate enough to train with one of the best healers in the
Alex.
world.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Alex is I mean, like, out of all the people in the community, Alex is definitely probably my favorite as well. So I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, we both idolized him and looked up to him for all these years and stuff. And yeah. So pretty much, personally trained with Alex. Was it a week, 2 weeks?
It was just a week. Yeah.
Well, just a week.
I
Yeah,
paid
training with
a bunch
right.
of money to fly him from Austria to where I was living in New York.
Right.
And the
Just
condition was
training
I
with him.
set up a workshop with 5 people, and then he saw that I was hungry to learn, and he was part of the community too. He was a member of the school also. So, yeah. And that was, so I got to stay with him for a whole week. And throughout that week, he was training me and mentoring me. That's how our relationship started. But I learned so much. And by the time that he left, I was so emptied out energetically of all this baggage, of all these traumas that I'd carried with me my whole life, all these limiting beliefs, that I could feel people's energy without even trying. Like,
just if you train personally with Alex, it's gonna just change your life. Right? Can you tell everybody about what's going on at the end of this month?
Yeah, so I'm really excited this month. So since that happened 4 years ago, I've been trying to get him to come back to the States for another Empty Force seminar because it was so life-changing for me. And I'm almost at the place in my life where I'm able to travel around the world and do the same thing that he's doing by teaching this stuff.
Nice.
And before I do that, I wanted to have one more seminar with him, and he's going to be in Austin, May 28th through May 30th for a 3-day seminar in Empty Force. And we're going to have at least 8 people this time. I've grown as a marketer, so we're going to hopefully get some good people that are hungry to learn and transform.
Awesome.
And that's the goal, is to just, massively transform people's lives.
That's awesome.
Where they will raise consciousness around the world and pay it forward, teaching people their inner power and teaching them to live with a heart-centered awareness teaching them to live in their full power, outside of a victim mindset, outside of any kind of limiting paradigms that would have us kind of get lost and disillusioned by, or illusioned, I guess, by the matrix.
Nice, nice, very cool. So Max's link for Alex's seminar will be in the description, so check that out. For those that want to attend, like I said, you know what I mean. Like most of the people on this channel have seen a lot of the videos that I created, the compilations, the highlight videos, and stuff like that. Y'all know how amazing Alex is. He can move people around with empty force and stuff like that. So this is the opportunity to learn that. So definitely check that out in the description below if you want to go check him out. It'll be in Austin, Texas, at the end of May. So yeah, definitely check that out. So let's get back to you for a second. So, you were in a really bad place a few months ago. You were really struggling with money and stuff like that. Maybe have like I can't remember, like 10,000 followers or something like that on TikTok. And like, you just had a profound transformation, like around in the beginning of this year. You went from like struggling to just having this amazing breakthrough. Could you talk to me about that? How you just basically just shifted your monetary consciousness, if you will.
Yeah, sure. Well, that was Alex and I had been in touch. It's like an interview about Alex.
Yeah, I know, right?
But like we had been in touch since then, 4 years ago, and sometimes every now and then we'd have a call or we'd have a session. But I was at a point where I was about to lose my house. I had very little food in my house. I was running out of food in my pantry, and I didn't have any money to buy more food. And I had zero income. I hadn't had a job for a year and a half. And yeah, I was just in not such a great place at all. I mean, I'm not, that's understating it. I was at my rock bottom financially, emotionally. I was at a really, really bad place. Just total lack, and total block of anything that I could desire. Like I couldn't call anything in that I needed in my life. And so I just had a come to Jesus moment, where I just fell to my knees and said, God, please provide for me, because I don't know what else to do, and then within a couple of hours, I had a call with Alex. Like, I think I messaged Alex and he called me, and he directed me to this money healing. So he started opening up my heart on the phone, and then directed me to a money healing seminar that he had recorded. And he told me to attend it, and so I just did this online seminar with him, and it totally changed the face of my financial life. Like, within the next month and a half, I was able to sell my house, which was going to be foreclosed on. And I was able to, the deadline for foreclosure got extended, and I was able to sell my house for $53,000 over my asking price. I was able to, I went from about 12,000 followers to almost 90,000 in about a month and a half. So I started having very good income from my business, like very, very livable income almost instantly. Yeah, it's just everything changed in a very short period of time. And it again drove home the point to me how very important our energy is in forming the reality that we experience, because this one shift that was made in me completely changed my life to the point of like black and white, like being poor and having nothing, being about to be homeless, to living my dream life.
Nice. That's so amazing. Like, there's so many people that are struggling right now that can just listen to this and just totally be inspired and stuff like that. And once again, like, I want to really advertise this seminar that's going on. Like, we've interviewed Alex back in October and stuff like that. And like, I can't really stress enough how amazing, just how profoundly special this guy is. I've always known that. I've spoke to like a very high level Qigong master, and she told me like what he can do is, and at his age, because like it takes masters years to do what he can do.
And he's very young. I think he's like mid-30s. He looks amazing. He's a picture of health. He has this glow about him. He
like six-pack abs, and
and he's healed paralysis, cancer. He's healed everything out there. And this, if you can make this seminar, it's life-changing is an understatement. It will relieve your blocks. It will awaken latent psychic abilities. It will allow you to attract whatever you've been trying to attract in your life. And
Yeah,
yes, there's a cool
yeah,
bonus. Yeah, you can learn contact with self-defense.
yeah.
That's awesome. Like honestly, that's sweet. That's what originally drew me to Empty Force, was because like at the time I was in a fear mindset and I wanted to be able to you know, feel like I was powerful without needing weapons or anything. And
Right,
like that was what originally drew me to it. And that's definitely part of it. But looking back, that's not even the most valuable thing because of everything else that it gives.
right,
So
right.
yeah, it's a $2,000 seminar, and it is more than worth it. Like I'm going to spend probably double that just setting this up.
Nice,
But it's going to be
nice,
more than worth it because this is the most value that I could ever think to help contribute to the world. I mean,
nice,
Alex is somebody that he's either meditating all day or dancing or reading on how to expand his knowledge base about energy healing. I mean, this is
nice.
like
Yeah,
somebody that's obsessed with his craft.
such an incredible guy. Yeah, yeah, certainly. There's one more individual that I know that really profoundly, and once again, you went to this another seminar in Austin through Alex, but could you talk to me a little bit about your experience with Max Christensen? I contacted her for an interview, but he unfortunately declined.
Yeah,
But
good luck with that.
yeah, yeah, but I know, right, but I know that you also had a profound experience with him as well, and I know you do the Kunlun Nigong. I have the book somewhere here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Kunlun
I bought
system.
this book. It's such a phenomenal book.
Yeah, yeah,
Could you talk
amazing.
to me about your experience with that as well? And just real quick, I want to just share a story regarding that. So, around the time Max introduced me to Max Christensen and Kunlun Nigong, I was like, okay, so it's something Alex suggested, so I got to look it up and stuff like that. And I found that, and around that time, Max and I were trying to like start our own like Facebook group and stuff like that, and like what I mean, we were kind of just trying to be like business partners, if you will, maybe about a year ago or something, or I don't know, a little over a year ago. But I looked into Kunlun Nigon, and the synchronicity was amazing because, like, there's I believe Max Christensen's right hand man. His name's Kan Sasaki. My name is Ken Sasaki Jolly. So there's Max and there's
Awesome.
Kan and there's Max and Ken. So I was
That's
like,
funny,
wow,
dude.
this is amazing. This synchronicity is amazing
Yeah.
and stuff. And supposedly that Mr. Khan, obtained the golden dragon body, or the rainbow body, if you will, and he can teleport his body and stuff like that. Maybe not
Yeah.
at will, but I know he's teleported his body and stuff.
Yeah, there's different
So
names for it. And I know that Max's teacher actually ascended, if you want to use that word.
right,
He attained that body. Like he disappeared in a ball of light and left behind a few crystals. Like Max Christensen's teacher in Mongolia did that. So I mean that's and Max also trained under an immortal that was over 800 years old. So like the people that you can be connected with at the higher levels of the spiritual space, it's incredible what exists out there, like what
right,
the mainstream doesn't know exists.
right,
You just
right,
explore and start meeting some of these high level people.
right. Well,
Um,
do you still practice the Kunlun Nigong a lot?
oh yeah, all the time.
All the time? Do you do anything else besides Kunlun
That's the thing
Nigong?
I do the most because, dude, that healed my tinnitus and hearing loss. It got rid of my erectile dysfunction that I was having at 26. Like there was so many health benefits that it had for me, in addition to
Nice,
deepening my capacity for meditation and presence in the body. The five elements practice specifically, which is in that Kunlun book, helped me dramatically to balance and heal my body.
nice. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay. So, okay, cool. So, Max, what is your future goal as an energy practitioner? Do you want to attain the rainbow body? Do you want to become an immortal?
Yeah, definitely. I don't see myself leaving this world yeah, by just leaving my body behind. No, I want to take my body with me. So I want the what I strongly feel that my life purpose is to disrupt the collective suffering pattern and impact the world by raising consciousness, awakening people to their latent inner power, to the point of doing things that seem physically impossible to most people, and whenever the time comes to take my body with me out of this world, yeah, I don't intend to uh, continue the cycle of just leaving my body and coming back and trying to figure out the human wiring again.
Nice, nice. Okay, that's awesome. As I said in the intro, Max is this really on his way to being like one of the biggest, not only the, I mean, he already has, I believe, the second biggest social media following in this telekinesis community, to my knowledge, but maybe number one right now, because he has so much so many followers on TikTok. He's got one of the most active Facebook groups in this niche as well. But what is your goal as a teacher, as an entrepreneur, and things like that? Like, where do you see yourself in the future?
Just traveling and giving workshops just to raise consciousness. Like I won't just, I don't really have any measurable goals for that, but it's more of a feeling of what it feels like to make a massive impact and to teach people what is possible. And part of that, it's a little bit of a challenge because one of the things that's often cautioned against in pursuing enlightenment is not seeking fame, but
Right,
to impact the world on the level that I see myself doing.
right,
I need to have a big audience,
right,
and
right,
I've learned, we both are familiar with internet marketing. I've been
right,
studying internet
right,
marketing
right.
myself for 3 years. So I'm getting a handle on how to market myself and how to communicate messages to the mass psychology. Um, and yeah, just eventually I want to massively disrupt the suffering pattern. There's so many people, whenever I post a video about healing, X, Y, or Z incurable conditions, I get so much feedback. I get so many questions saying like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? Thank you. Like, even just helping people relieve nausea or headaches I've had such massive positive feedback from helping people that have never done energy before, and I can teach people how to relieve a headache because it's so easy. It's just waking people up to where they're placing their awareness in any given moment. The more that you're aware of where your awareness is, that's a lot of wheres, the more power you have over your waking reality every moment, and changing the patterns that you're holding so that you can live a better life that's not in suffering. Because one of the worst, one of my least favorite things that I was ever told when I was growing up was that life is suffering. And I don't believe that at all, because I don't live in suffering. So how could that be true?
That's an amazing quote. Yeah. Yeah, amazing, amazing. Okay, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I just want to share something real quick. So when I met Max, and when I found out that he's into internet marketing and stuff like that, and we were part of this energy school, always knew, I just always knew that it takes one guy, just one guy that knows internet marketing very well to just change the world, because this particular niche that we're in, doing aerokinesis and stuff like that. I mean, aerokinesis is not that hard to do, but it's such a profound thing. I mean, I still to this day get haters in like the remote viewing community, in the qigong community, in like people that say, oh, I've been doing nigong, and like at a very high level practitioners that still comment on our videos saying, wow, like, this is a shame, like you're making us look bad because you do aerokinesis and stuff like that. So many people that are really high level are even unaware of this stuff, and it's just so good to just see someone like Max, who has marketing skills, who, obviously is very articulate, very intelligent, passionate, that's like really just like exposing this niche. And when I first met Max, I just knew in my heart, like, this is the guy. This is the guy I know that can like totally change the world. And I hate to bring his name up, and I'm not going to say his name, but I'm pretty sure Mr. Who saw that in you too. I know he did. And despite whatever happened to him, I don't know what he's doing anymore. I guarantee you he saw something tremendously powerful in you. I've spoken to many other people. They said the same thing too. They said like they really see something in you. And I'm so happy that you're on the right track and just really changing the world and really making a profound impact. And I I'm really truly grateful that you really got your
Dude,
life.
wow. High praise, man. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, you and
Thank you.
Alex. I mean, you and Alex. It's really, and I mean, guys like Tanu Sudan, and like I can name many people that are just really upcoming guys that are just really phenomenal. But I really think it's you guys that are just going to just make a tremendous impact on the world. I mean, like I always say this, but on this channel, but like Wim Hof the Iceman, like a decade ago, everybody was laughing at him, saying like, "Oh my gosh, this guy's a charlatan." Now, like professional athletes, like they all do Wim Hof. Like it's not even like it's not even like he's not even like regarded as a charlatan anymore. Like in 10 years, he's totally changed the the athletic performance and self-help and all that
It
stuff.
also
I or
it
sorry, go
also
ahead.
shows the power of branding
Power of branding. Yeah.
because he
And
basically
I
uses, I think it's called Tumo, which is
Tumo,
what
yeah,
he
yeah.
does is an ancient methodology. It's an ancient practice, but he branded it with his name, and now it's a worldwide phenomenon.
Right.
Yeah.
And I really truly believe that it's like guys like us and Max being in the forefront of this community is like we're next. Like it's us next. Like it's
Yeah.
us next. We're gonna
We
be
just had
I
the first aerokinesis demo on TV in the last year or so, right?
yeah, Mr. Yeah, the
Well,
well-known
what
guy.
what channel was that? Was it
Um,
Discovery or something? I don't remember.
yeah, the
It was
travel
some like
channel.
actual TV channel, and there was a
Right,
legit
right,
aerokinesis
right,
demo on there.
right, right. Well-known aerokinesis guy went on TV and stuff like that. So we're totally moving in the right direction. And I mean, Max being in the forefront of this community has a ton of social media followers that's consistently growing right now. I'm really just really truly excited for like you know for what's to come. And yeah, I'm just really excited right now. I've never been this excited about this community and stuff like that. I mean, we I know this community never had an interviewer. I stepped up and became the well-known interviewer in this community and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Hopefully, we can take eventually, even a step further and start interviewing guys or start, having the people that I'm interviewing on like, guys like Joe Rogan or something like that. That's like the next
Oh
phase that we
man.
need to move into and stuff like
Wow. Can
that.
you
So
imagine, dude?
yeah.
Wow.
And like, like I said, right now I get like, every day I get a hate comment about in my hydrokinesis video and stuff like that. But you know
Yeah.
what? It's
Okay.
all good because in 10 years, they'll look back and say, wow, these guys really did something
Yeah.
phenomenal.
To
These
me, it's
guys
it's
really changed the
motivation to
world.
educate the world when I get hate
Yeah,
comments. 'Cause I
yeah,
get
for
so much
sure.
hate comments for like basic stuff that I'm talking about, like that she
Yeah,
exists, and there's so
yeah,
many hate comments about that
right,
I'll get for these like just breaking the mold in tiny
right,
little pieces. And I'm just, to me, it's like, well, clearly there's a lot of people that are living in suffering and that are living in ignorance.
right,
And I'm just going to do my part to educate the masses so that
right.
we can,
Yeah,
anybody who doesn't want to live in suffering can be given the door out of that
right,
pattern.
right. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Well, so once again, Max will be holding a seminar, May 28th to the 30th. Was it?
Yeah, May 28th through the 30th in
Okay,
Austin, Texas. There's
in
also going
Austin,
to be
Texas.
a money healing seminar um, on May 27th. That's separate if you want to do that.
Oh,
Like
separate.
like
Okay.
like I
Yeah,
like
check.
I said, I had a money healing at the beginning of this year that led to the whole cyber blow up that I experienced with my business and everything.
Nice.
So money
Awesome.
healing is very, if you have financial problems, don't look outwardly. Don't look at the physical, like I need a job, I need this. I mean, yes, there's physical avenues that money can take, but at the fundament, at the core of the issue, you need to deal with what's inside of you and what's blocking you internally from attracting that into your life.
Right.
So that's what a money healing serves to do. So if you can make it to Austin for even the 27th for the money healing seminar, that's going to be also led by Alex, and it's going to be really powerful.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Max. So check out the link in the description, maxwellreader.com. Check it out. It's going to be really profound. Thank you so much for this interview, Max, and your time. And I'm really, really excited for the seminar and like what's going to happen for the future of the energy community and stuff like that. So keep up the amazing work that you're doing, and hopefully in the future, just you're going to just be like like really one of the biggest teachers in the world. So.
Well, thank you so much, brother. I so very much appreciate your heartfelt warmth that I feel from you. So thank you, dude. Always.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Thanks, Max.